Righto guys, how's it going? So this is 1.1, mind is representation. So the introduction video was a long one, it was 45 minutes. The whole point of putting it into a playlist is that you get rid of the need to repeat yourself um, to some degree. I mean, like if you've got some opinion that's based on a whole lot of other opinions, um, and every time you talk about a new opinion, you've got to talk about all the bloody foundations. It just you wind up repeating yourself often. So that my hope is that these videos, these like point 1, point 2 sort of videos, will just be a lot snappier, just more boom, boom, boom. If you understood um, the main video, even though it's long and takes a while to get through, these will just come pretty quickly. So mind is representation. It follows from the realization that you are a facade and that you have a persona, and that what's actually you is different to what you think it is, and it's different to what other people think it is. So it's not a quick realization. It takes time. It's not always explicit. Sometimes it's implicit. But over time, you articulate more and more of it until eventually you've got it pretty well articulated. So following from the realization of your persona, that you've been given a persona because people can't relate to you, it follows from there that you realize that your mind and other people's minds, everybody's mind, is a representation of reality. Right. So I'll show you a bit of art. There we go. So I think the bloke who painted this is Rene Magritte, and he's a Frenchman, so he's writing terribly there, but it says there, this is not a pipe. And the point is, most people go, that is a pipe. And you're meant to go, no, that's a painting. It's a painting of a pipe, but it's a painting. Therefore, it's a representation. Right? Don't confuse the representation with the reality. Otherwise, you wind up in all sorts of trouble. Right? So you've got reality, and you're trying to mirror with your representation. You're trying to mirror reality. So you want your representation to explain or predict phenomena. So I don't know if you guys have watched The Big Short movie. I was going to bloody show you the trailer, but we'll just skip that. The Big Short, the movie about the guys that betted against the housing market during the GFC. It's a true story. They're blokes who just, by their understanding of economics and currency and how currency should work and so on and so forth, they knew that there was a crisis coming. And if you've watched it, you'll know that they sort of predicted it really early, 2004, 2006. And, they thought by the end of this year, there'll be a crash. And it just didn't come. Eventually, it came in 2007. So, like, even though they are some of the, what is it, a few handfuls of people on Earth who could see the GFC coming, they didn't know when. And the difference in timing was years in some cases. So that just shows you, that's what a representation is trying to do. It's trying to explain or predict phenomena. Prediction, okay, something bad's going to happen. But an explanation might be better, because then, you understand phenomena as maybe that's a good thing rather than a bad thing. And if it's a bad thing, you can mitigate it, let's say. Right, so your representation, right? It's quite useful to think of it in terms of territory, because reality is always there waiting for you to know about it. And what you've explored of it is always starts off really, really small. It's almost like you're in a valley and you know about the valley, but you've got to go up onto the peaks and the ridges to then see that there are more valleys and expand the representation. So it's about conquering territory. A good analogy is Command and Conquer. Don't know if you guys remember that game, but yeah, I used to play it as a kid, like on Windows 98 or something. And if you've played it, it's all dark except for where you are, and you've got to go out and you've got to find all the
Construction complete. Building. New
Yeah,
construction
you got to go find
options.
where all the resources are, where your enemy is. You don't know, it's just darkness. So it's about exploring that unknown, that territory. See if we can. So you see, you start building, you go out, there's enemies.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Yeah, see, so you got to uncover more and more of the darkness. It's because it's all dark, and it's only once you walk into that area does the game show you what's there. That's kind of like knowledge acquisition. It's like, it's just blackness, and unless you go there, and then the game will show you what's there. Right, back to right, and then there's resolution, and that's like how, you know, is your knowledge HD? Are you watching it in like 144p, and it's just like, the fuck's going on? And this is, you know, perfect example with, you know, The Big Short and the GFC. Some people thought it was impossible, so their resolution would have been low, and then there were people who saw it coming, so their resolution would have been higher, but it's still not a perfect representation because they didn't know when it would happen, and they were off by years. So that's a major thing. So never, just because you know a lot, never forget that it's still just a representation. This is not a pipe. That's what we're saying. Or if you're French, listen, pas un pipe. And then, of course, reality, you can categorize it as nature, consciousness, and culture. That just makes it easier. Because the point of all of this isn't just fatalistic realism where you just go, don't know why, but it's just the way it is. The point is you want to know why it's that way, and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And if it's a good thing, you're going to mitigate it. If it's a bad thing, you're going to improve it, blah, blah, blah. Right. I mean, that's pretty basic, but, you know, that's kind of what I want to do. The 0.0 video will be long, maybe a bit tiresome, but the next videos I just want to get through pretty quick. Don't want to stuff around. And that's Mind is Representation. Thanks for watching.